Hello, everyone, and welcome to another broadcast of Northwest Georgia Cryptics. Tonight, we are joined by one of our good friends, Mr. Neil Kay from North Carolina.
How's it going,
Neil is a
guys?
paranormal investigator and also interested into Sasquatch studies. Matter of fact, he had related to us last night that he had had his first encounter with Sasquatch a few days ago. Neil, you want to
Man.
go ahead and tell us about it, boy?
Yeah, man. It actually happened about 3 weeks ago. It was the first encounter I had. I was out at the a local cemetery, which is way back in the woods, off from everybody else, man. As a matter of fact, if you didn't know the place was there, you'd never be able to find it. And I was there by myself, and it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, I guess it was. And I was getting ready to end up my investigation anyway. But as I was leaving the path from the cemetery, getting ready to go back to the main path, there it was all surrounded by woods, and I heard something in the woods across the path from me from a distance. It sounded like loggers in the woods, cutting down trees and shit. And I'm like, there's no way a logger is out there at 11:30 at night. So I kept listening, and it kept getting closer and closer, and I kept hearing sound like somebody taking a baseball bat and banging it against a tree, and then it would sound like trees being knocked over. And the closer it get to me, the scarier I got. And I didn't stick around and see what it looked like, what it smelled like, or nothing. I got the hell out of there, man. It scared me. So I went back to the same place last week with a couple of friends of mine, and one of them was taking pictures. And when he flashed his camera about 7 to 8 feet in the air, where he flashed the camera at, you could see a set of eyes. I mean, and they were undeniable. That's what it was. And yesterday, I think it was, when they sent me the picture, and there was something there, man. You couldn't make out
Yep.
in detail what it was, but you could tell that it was something
Yeah,
big,
you can
and it was
tell
standing
that they
there.
were. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a few things real quick. You didn't let me do my little introduction, Ricky.
Sorry about that, Blake.
You're fine. All right, guys. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But as you can see, Neil's here with us tonight. You're probably going to be seeing a lot more of him on the channel. He's going to be helping us out, co-hosting with us some.
Yep.
So we got some new things coming to the channel. Going to start producing some videos. Just got to get some stuff took care of as far as being able to edit and stuff. But we have shot some videos that we just got to edit and post. That's pretty much it. I just want to let everybody know that that Neil will be around a little bit more with us, and we got
Yeah.
some new things for the channel.
Hey, man,
And
yeah, tonight we supposed to have had a, no, Lord, let me see, Mr. Travis Allen Schipper on the show with us from Skip's Haunted Lives. I don't know what happened to Allen, or to Travis, but we would gladly joined by Neil tonight, and we really
Ricky, do you want to get
yeah.
you want to try calling him?
Uh, I don't have a number. I can. Y'all boys go ahead and let me see if I can bring him up on
alrighty.
get a
While
hold of
Ricky's
him.
while Ricky's doing that, man, I want to go ahead and plug my channel right quick.
Yeah, go
Uh,
go for it.
you guys go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you don't mind. It's Nocturnal Nation. Um, just to give you a little bit of background on myself, I have over 40 years experience in dealing with the paranormal. I've been investigating for 2 years, but I've had dealings with the paranormal for over 40 years now. I'm a former Satanist. I'm a former pastor who has turned into a paranormal investigator. So this is something that I do, man. I love doing it. I perform exorcisms. I cleanse houses. I do the whole 9 yards, man. As Blake said a while ago, I'm new into the Bigfoot thingy, man, but I'm really wanting to learn a lot more about it, especially now that I've had my own personal encounter. It's
It
really stirring
intrigues you a
something in
little
me.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it does, man. Because now I'm like, I've got to know, man. I've got to know. Look,
Yeah.
the couple that was with me was a husband and wife, and the wife texted me yesterday, "I will not be going back at nighttime." I'm like, okay.
Now, did y'all hear anything that night that she got that picture? Or, I mean,
Yeah. Billy, the other guy that was with us, man, he said he kept hearing whoop, whoop, whoop out in the woods. Is that a
guys,
sound that they make?
yeah, whooping. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very common.
Wow. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
we had a counter. We want to go
man,
back
you had your
time in the
encounter.
day. Yeah, we want to go back in the daytime and see if we can find any prints.
Yeah. Look for usually about depending, usually 5-6 foot. Look for tree breaks.
Yeah.
That's one thing a lot of people don't really think to look up when it comes to.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Blake. All the way down the path to get back to the cemetery, and this was before I even told them about me hearing the thing in the woods a couple of weeks prior to that. Walking down the path and getting to the cemetery, it was above my head. Limbs were broken. I mean, and I'm talking big ones like this, not these little teeny sticks. I'm talking.
Were they all in one direction, or were they different directions?
Yeah.
All in one direction.
Yeah, they were like down in one direction. Is that common?
Oh yeah,
It
it
is.
sounds like you actually got on a path that they actually frequent. That's actually trail markers, is what it is. And normally when you have them broke like that in one direction, it's either a trail marker leading to water, to a food source, could be a bedding area, anything of that nature.
That is wild because the area that we saw the eyes at the end of that path, there was a big body of water there. Plus the graveyard itself is close to the Neuse River.
Yeah, man, it sounds to me like you've had a classic encounter. These
Man.
things, and hey, dude, I'm telling you, it's something that I know you do paranormal research. You've had a lot of encounters with paranormal, but hey, when you have an encounter with a living, breathing creature like that, man, that really opens your senses up. It really does.
Look, man, it's freaky because I'm not. You guys know more about the Bigfoot stuff than I do, man. But I'm thinking to myself, there's a freaking wild animal out there, man. And he's out to get my ass. Yeah, it scared me.
That's one thing. It don't really bother me, but I always think about it in the back of my head is I don't really get like scared when I'm out looking for Bigfoot. I always think about animals. Like that, like wolves and coyotes, and like I'm more worried about them than I am an actual Bigfoot. I mean,
yeah. Well, while we were there at the graveyard, we heard a sound, and Billy asked me, "Was that coyotes?" And I said, "Man, I don't know," because it kind of sounded like them, but it was really, really, really weird. Thanks, Kirsten. I appreciate that, dear.
That's my fiance.
Hey, fiance. Yeah, man, that was that was freaky, dude. Hearing that and then turning around and seeing those eyes, and it just.
So did she notice that she caught the eyes while y'all were still there, or after you guys done left?
Well, while he was taking the picture, man, I saw the eyes for the flash of the camera.
So you actually seen them with your eyes, yeah?
Yeah. And I was like, dude, you can't. I was speechless, man. I didn't know what the hell to say. It was awesome.
It's unreal, dude. When you're standing there and you actually see eye shine, and that thing's like 7-8 foot around.
Hell yeah!
And look like maybe a foot wide or so. I mean, it's really it's unreal. It is.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you really tell how far the distance between the eyes were? I mean, were they fairly close, far apart?
Well, I could tell that they weren't like a human's eyes, you know, because you know how close our eyes are. But this looked like the only way I describe it is like he had an eyeball on each side of my head, about that distance apart.
Yeah. Any colorization to them, far as were they red, green?
Kind of a goldish looking almost.
Goldish.
But it could have been from the flash of the camera.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit what you've been doing with stuff.
Man.
Do what, Rick?
I said I just want to welcome you to the club.
Here's what I've been having going on here lately, Blake. Since I've been on my own doing the paranormal stuff, man, it's crazy, dude. I've been doing this on my own now for about about 3 weeks, and I'm already over 75 subscribers after 3 weeks. That must be your man there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, he-
Oh, man.
his phone. I think we said this before last time you were on the show. It never fails. He always gets phone calls during the show.
It's
Dude,
notorious.
we'll go out and do something. We'll go somewhere, and he won't get a phone call all day long. But soon as we're live on YouTube, it never fails.
That's funny, man. That's really funny. But I've been doing a lot of investigating, man. I've done a 4-part series at a local Civil War battlefield.
Yep.
And man, I'm telling you, I want to think that I would like to go back there at nighttime, but I'm kind of scared to go back there at nighttime. That's how strong those spirits were. And something I've been trying too, man, is I have, since I was a preacher, I was in tune with my spiritual side. And I've been working on that, kind of honing in on my ability to become an empath.
Yeah.
And it is, man, I'm telling you, I really put it to use at the Civil War battlefield, because I barely did turn on my spirit box on this last time I went out. And mostly what I was getting from the spirits, as far as their names, how they were feeling, what was going on, it was all emotions that I was picking up. And it is amazing to me, man, how I would go up to a spirit and I start talking to it, and I say, "Hey, is your name Captain Joe?" And yes. I'm like, damn, I didn't know that. It just freaks me out how this is happening to me or for me. But it's something I wanted. I've been wanting it for a while, man, and I've really been working on it, getting stronger at it and building it up. So that's been doing good for me. We have a place here in Sampson County. You may remember me talking about it from the last time that I was on your show. It was the murder-suicide house.
Yeah. Yeah.
But since everything went down with the last team that I was with, the way it did, I didn't want to give up the house, but I didn't want to keep the same name. I didn't want anything to tie me to that anymore. So we changed the name now. Anytime we do a video there, it's now called Sampson County's House of Pain. And in late spring or early summer, we're actually going to cleanse that house. We're going to do my mom went blank, an exorcism on the dad, the one that killed everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to get rid of him first and then help the ladies cross over.
That's awesome.
We're going to end up making a documentary out of it. So that's one thing we got in our pocket right now that we're working on.
Now, I've seen some videos you had posted on your channel. I can't think of the you'd gotten permission to go there.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the old train depot.
Yes.
Dude, let me tell you about this place, man. The train depot, man, it was originally built in the 1800s, and it used to sit right beside the railroad track. And that's back whenever Mount Olive had passenger trains running through. Now, you got to know the size of my town. I think there's like 5 stoplights. If that gives you any kind of idea of what kind of stuff we're dealing with. But this building has since been moved across the street from the public library. And I've been seeing it sitting there for years and years and years, man. And I've always said to myself, if I could ever get in that place, man, I would love it so much. Well, I talked to my librarian, and I told her what I was interested in doing. And just so happens she is one of the members of the Wayne County Historical Society. And she got me in touch with the town manager, man. And I tried calling him and never could get an answer. Then 2 or 3 weeks ago, man, he gave me a call, said, "Hey, you still want to get in that depot?" I said, "Hell yeah." Since I've been in there, man, my first investigation was just a primary investigation, go in there and see who's there and whatnot. Well, the next week, the guy was like, "Hey, man, can you make those spirits leave, get out of this place? Because I have to work in there at nighttime by myself, and I'm not comfortable knowing they're in there now."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Sure, dude." So I went in there, the cleansing. I've done an exorcism because there was one evil spirit that didn't want to leave. So I did that deal, man. And then since I've done that, now the town manager has said, "Okay, anything you want to do in the town, it's yours."
That's
So
awesome.
yes, there's an old abandoned
Yeah,
movie
man, that's
theater,
awesome.
man, and I'm planning on getting it pretty soon.
Any stories from those particular locations, or?
Yeah, well, the depot, man. The first spirit I spoke to was a lady. Oh God, for the life of me now, I cannot remember what her name was. But what was it? Audrey. Her name was Audrey. But she it was either the late 1800s or the early 1900s, while the depot was still by the train track, was a passenger on the train. She got on the train to board the train so they could leave, but she fell, and when she did, her head hit the footstep of the train, and that put a big knot on her head. So they took her into the depot to let her rest, and while she was there, she died. So that was a very interesting thing. There was the town manager's dad who used to work there, and he's African American, and he worked there back in the time whenever segregation was at its highest. So he was never able to work on the inside of the building, and that's interesting fact because the whole time I spoke to him, his spirit was right outside of the building at the door. He said he couldn't go inside. He never gave me a reason why, but his son told me later. So
Huh.
I was able to help him cross over, man, and it was able to help that family. They were like, man, I can't believe how much you helped my family, giving us closure. So anything you want to do in the town, man, is yours. So that was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yes, just to have that connection with the town like that.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And I mean
Also,
that will probably, that will probably become, I don't want to say beneficial on your part, but I mean,
oh, it will.
anybody, yeah, I mean, anybody that has anything for its homes, I mean, that may help you get a little reputation. And
Yeah, there's one home here in town that I think it's one of the oldest homes in the town, but the chief of police and the town manager both was like, man, you need to go in that place because it is haunted. And also a part of that depot that I thought was a cemetery, was a funeral home. That wasn't actually the funeral home. The funeral home is a part of another part of that building, which I'm going to have access to maybe tomorrow night.
so you're gonna have plenty of things to keep you busy.
Oh yeah, man, I got my hands full, dude, and I love it every minute of it, man. I love it, dude.
I wish we could get in with somebody to let us in the old hospital here in our town.
I know,
It's
man.
it's in downtown, and they're actually a retail store in it now. But when I'm understanding, nobody's ever investigated it. So it's supposed to be, the upstairs is supposed to be really haunted, but I don't
Wow.
know if there's any
Right.
details for hauntings or anything like that. But
I talked to a lady a few weeks ago. Blake mentioned the hospital, and they actually live in a set of apartments that's just beyond the fence there at the old hospital. And she told me that they actually have a little girl. She said it looked like she's about 5 years old. That she actually comes to their apartment at night and talks and plays with their little boy. She said she'd actually seen a full body apparition different times with the little girl, and she said that you could tell from the dress that the little girl wore that it was probably early 1900s. And
Dude,
this little girl actually comes and communicates with their son.
that is so cool. Hey, also, man, at the House of Pain,
yep.
when I took one of my friends there with me, three, 2.5 weeks ago, maybe I think it was. Well, it's the same guy, a couple that I took with me that we saw the Bigfoot, and he took a picture of the outside window, which we were never able to get a picture there before because it was always grown up with a bunch of bushes and stuff. But whoever owns that property came and cut it down. But he took a picture of one of the windows, and we saw the spirit of the 5-year-old girl who was killed, and we saw the spirit of the mom and the dad there in pictures.
Golly.
No,
Different sequence of pictures,
well,
or
the mom and dad were together, but the little girl was separate. That was pretty cool.
Same spot, or were they
no,
different?
different
No,
rooms.
different rooms.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
Now, is that house just pretty much an abandoned house?
Yeah, it is, man. I think at one time it was a migrant house because you can just tell by different things inside there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what it might have been, but yeah, dude, you can tell it's been abandoned for quite some time now.
Now, do you know any actual, other than what you found out about it through your investigations? Have you? I mean, do you know anything else about the house?
All I've been able to find out so far, man, is the address. I tried to find the owner since I found the address, and no owner is listed anywhere. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if
Somebody owns it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody had owned it and died and just left the land there, and the farmers just take care of the land. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, man. And it took me forever to find the address. It didn't have it on the house itself. I had to ride around to other people's houses and look at their mailboxes. I knew they thought I was stupid, but I was riding around looking at numbers all day long today, man.
So how did you actually find out about the location?
Dude, I was riding by there one day, and I had been told about another murder house that was about 2 miles from there. I got to that house and was unable to get inside because it was so grown over with briars and trees, and it was infested with wasps. Matter of fact, I tried to get in, and when I did, I ended up getting stung like 5 times on my head, and I said, bump that, not going to do it. And so on the way back in, I said, let's stop at this house and check it out, man. And I checked it out, dude, and to my surprise, it was for real a murder-suicide house, man. And it has never failed to produce. Never.
Yeah.
And I've been there over 10 times already.
Say, well, I'm scared to just go in places like that. I mean, well, there's some places around here that we could probably investigate like that, but
yeah,
I'm always too scared of whose property it is, and it just I don't want to deal with it.
I'm when I go to a place like that, if it looks like a newer property, I won't mess with it. And if it's got other houses around, I won't mess with it. But this one's right on the highway. I mean, so anybody can see me there, and that part don't bother me. It's just the fact that having a house next to me, if somebody running inside that house where I'm at while I'm investigating, making a bunch of damn noise, it make me crap myself, so.
That's like that house that Ricky we were talking about. I think last time you were on here, the house on Carbondale Road. I'd love to be able to go over there, but I don't even know who to contact to get in there. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the state. I'm pretty sure the state probably owns it. I'm not 100% sure because it is a historical landmark.
Right.
But I mean, that's what's so bad about our area. Is there really not many places you can get into? Like, I mean, that's one reason we have to travel sometimes to really go places, just because our area, everywhere is private and don't let people in.
Yeah, that could cause an issue, man. But especially like for myself, right now in the position that I'm in now, I'm trying to get as many videos out as I can to try to build myself back up where I used to be at, so I can even off a little bit. That's why I'm doing investigations, one right after another, man. Trying to get those videos out. But once I get to 100 subs, myself and the couple I was just talking about, because I didn't want to do it by myself, we're gonna spend the night at the House of Pain.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a 24-hour investigation there, man. That's gonna be awesome.
What's the longest you've ever been there?
Probably about 6 or 7 hours.
Okay.
Now, Neil, was this the house that you actually said in one of your videos that you got trapped up against the wall and can get loose?
Yeah, that's the same house. Yep, same one, man. It's definitely got poltergeist activity in that house. And originally I was going to try to stay in there by myself, and I would have done it. Honestly, I would have. But my wife said, "No, hell, you ain't." So she put a stop to that right quick. You got that right, man. You got that right. She put a stop to that quick, like. So luckily, the friends that I'm talking about, I keep mentioning them over again. I guess I should tell you who they are. They're Hawk Paranormal, Eastern North Carolina, It's Billy and Brenda Hawkins. They have a channel on YouTube, man. And when we met, these guys had not quite, I think it was like 180. Now they're over like 230 or something like that, over 230. But they're a good couple, man. Really good people.
I think I've seen the video that they were. Did you do a video with them?
Yeah, I did one at the House of Pain.
Yeah,
with them, and I did the one at the Waynesboro Cemetery.
it seems like every time I'm actually going to Old South Pittsburgh again tomorrow. Seems like every time I talk to you, that's where I'm going.
I know, dude. It's like your favorite place or what?
It is. I mean, it's the most haunted location I've ever been to. It never lets me down. I mean, last time we went, it was a pretty quiet day, but I mean, it's just I love the place. Like, it's just one of the places I'm fine with going to and nothing happening.
Yeah, man.
It's weird. This place just draws you in. Like, once you've been there, if you are a paranormal investigator, I'm sure you have places like that just for some reason you're drawn to the place. You
That's
think
the way
about
this
the
house
place
is,
when
man.
you're gone. You think about the place while you're gone. Like, that's just how the hospital is. I mean,
Dude.
it just once you go there, you always want to continue to go
It's
there.
in your blood, man. It's in your blood. You know, especially if it's one of the first places that you got some good action at.
Well,
You know?
it's definitely not the, well, far as the most haunted location I've ever been to, yes. But I mean, I've been doing this. I didn't go up there for the first time till last year. So, I mean, you know, I've been doing this for, you know, many years before I actually went to the hospital. But just, I've had some of the most memorable things happen to me there.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, for real. That's the way that house is with me, man. You know, I've been to some places that may have been more productive than what that place is, but at the same time, this place never fails, man. And what's so special about that house to me, man, is the little girl Teresa. She's 5 years old, and you know her dad still molests her even in the spirit realm today. And I've told her, like, the first time that I found out this was going on, I told her, I said, "Look, dear, anytime that I'm here, you're welcome to follow behind me, and I will protect you as long as I'm here." And she does too, man. No joke, dude. I can feel her every time I walk in. I can feel her attaching herself close to me. You know, she'll sit right by me the whole time I'm there. She never attaches herself to me as far as coming home with me, but as long as I'm there, she's right there with me.
Which, honestly, that probably wouldn't be a bad one to come home with you, unfortunately.
It really
I mean,
would.
to say
It
it that way. I mean,
no, really, man. We had a medium to go in there one time, and she wanted her to go home with her, but at the time she weren't able to leave because her dad was still there. You know, as long as he's there, nobody can leave. He's not going to let them leave. So that's why we're going to get rid of him first, and then you know, see if they want to cross over.
yeah. Now, have you ever had a spirit that you've attempted to help cross over that didn't want to go, pretty much?
I've asked them, and I've had one in Virginia. Was it one? Yeah, only one, and that was in Virginia when I was up there in an investigation, and it was a 12-year-old girl, I think, and she did not want to cross over. Her sister crossed over, her mom and dad crossed, but she didn't want to cross. I don't know if she was scared. I don't know what the deal was. She's with me.
That's what I started asking, Neil. What would make an entity like that want to stay in this realm when they could cross over and experience, you know?
Well, this family died in the 1980s, so they've been in that location there, you know, ever since. So she died when she was 12, and you think from the 80s till now, you know, that's a long time to be in one place.
Well, especially if it's an intelligent spirit. I mean, you know, I'm sure it's the same for them. You know, us, you know, living. You know, you get used to something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. And her younger sister, man, when I asked her, she was like, yeah, she was the first one I spoke to, so she was ready to go immediately. Then I spoke to the sister, and she was like, no, she didn't want to go. And at the time, she didn't know her mom and dad was going to leave. I didn't either, you know. So I haven't been back there since. If I ever go back, I'm going to see if she wants to go now. But I've helped a lot of spirits cross over, man. If you watch the video on my channel called Crossing Over, you'll see
Mhm.
where in that depot, I think there were 5
Yeah,
spirits there
I
that I helped.
watched it the other night.
Yeah, I helped those 5 cross. The last one that I helped cross was actually the town manager's dad. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was on the outside of the building, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've watched that one yet.
Yeah, you should watch it, man. The one right follows after that one is called the cleansing, and that's where I had to go in and do the exorcism, the sage, and the anointing oil. I mean, I had to do all of them. I had to do all 3 of them in order to get it out.
No, I got a question when it comes to sage. Are there any specific way you're supposed to use sage?
There's 2 different methods. Excuse me. The methods that I'm talking about here, one of them likes to take the sage bundle and light the sage bundle on the end and go around. You got either way you do it, you got to do this part. You got to cover every part of the house. You got to go from one wall to the other, back and forth. So the whole, every room, every door, every closet, everything's got to be cleansed. But some people use different prayers, different mantras when they're doing theirs. Myself, when I do it, I take my sage bundle, I cut it up, I put it in this bowl that I have. I like my bowl. And excuse me, the reason I like doing it in a bowl so much is because it'll let you know if the place actually needs to be cleansed. And the way it'll do that, if the sage in the bowl lights up immediately, then you know the place needs to be cleansed. But if it don't light up, then it's already cleaned. It don't want to be cleansed. But the way I do it with the bowl is I light it and then I just blow on it. Blow on the embers, and it smokes up a whole lot better. And when I'm doing it, I like the example at the depot. As I was doing it, I kept saying, "In the name of Christ, no evil can exist here." And every spot I would go, I would do the sage, and I would do that, and it worked.
Well, now, Neil, let me ask you this, bud. Have you ever run across an entity where you go into a house like this and they just absolutely refuse to leave?
The one at the depot, the one evil spirit, by using just anointing oil and the sage, he still didn't want to leave. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have had to done the exorcism, but I had to exorcise that spirit out. And with the exorcism, he has no choice. He has to leave. That's like the most powerful tool I have.
No, is it possible? I mean, I don't know if you know the answer to this or not. Is it possible for a spirit not to leave? I mean, after an exorcism. I mean, what if they're that powerful? Is that demon? I mean, would that be at that point something that's super powerful, like a demonic entity, or?
Yeah, it is. And when you run across a situation like that, it would take more than one person to go there, and get the job done. You would have, and I don't know what I'm going to run into tomorrow. I'm afraid I'm going to run into that situation, which is a good thing that I have my friend Billy going with me. So he'll be able to help me out.
Now, can you feel a difference in the atmosphere? Like, how do you know that the exorcism actually works? I mean,
like, I do 2 different methods, man. The first thing I do, excuse me, is I trust my senses. I trust it more than I do anything else, man. I walk around, see what I can feel, and I don't know how you guys are about religion, man, but I just got to tell you, this is the only way I can explain it, is to tell you my
yeah.
I used to be a pastor. As a pastor, I've done things, and one of the gifts that I was given by God was the spirit of discernment, which helps me just to be able to tell good spirits from bad spirits. It's just something I had to have when I was a young preacher. So I use that even today. I'm able to go into a place, especially after doing an exorcism, and if there's an evil spirit present, I'll know it immediately. I'll be able to pick it up. It's just something I've had for years, and I'll do that. And I'll, even though I can tell it with my senses, I also like to do the second method that way, because every time I do anything, I do it on camera, okay, and not just so I can put it on YouTube, but to protect myself and to show the property owners this is what I did, so
Yeah.
they can't say,
You
well,
did
you
it.
were in my house and you messed my house up. I say, no, I didn't. Here's the proof. I was here the whole time. You know, so yeah, my mind's got off track. What I was asked. What would you ask? My mind's got off track. What was you wanted to know? My mind's went blank, dude.
My mind went blank too.
Well, damn, we're all right.
All right. Blake and I have done paranormal investigations. Uh, where Blake was talking about the house up on Carbon we went 2 years back, where we've actually run into spirits that I was actually literally shoved down into a hole up there that night, and then had her hair pulled on the way out. Uh, so really, we were freaked out to the point that we were not going to stick around in the house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, have you ever encountered? Have you ever come to that point in your investigations to the point?
There has been times. There's this particular graveyard that we go to frequently. Well, I go to frequently. I keep saying we like I'm more than one person, but I go to frequently. And I know, man, habits.
You're good, brother.
So this particular graveyard, man, I've been knocked down in the graveyard. I've been scratched. I've been had whispers in my ears. I've caught so many things that are calling my name. Some with a spirit box, some just right out of the blue. And my dumb self keeps going back there by myself. Every time I tell my wife that's where I'm going, she said, "Baby," I said, "Honey, this is what I do." You know, um, that's probably the scariest place, Rick. I don't know that there's a place that has happened that I would say I would not go back to. Yes, there has to. I'm sorry, there has. But for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of the place. But I went there once before. It's a state-owned park, but I cannot. Cave Land Cemetery. That's the name of the place. But I went there before, and while I was there, everything was okay. I did something stupid. I picked up a rock and was going to bring it home with me. But before I got ready to leave, I decided I was going to leave it. I didn't want it with me after all, in case anything was attached to that rock. I didn't want to bring it home with me. That night, I got home and started hearing whispers in my bedroom. And my wife was being, taken advantage of by a spirit, which was a teenage witch, followed me home. And I had to have my house cleansed because of it. So that's one place, man, I would never. I couldn't be paid enough to go back there.
Yeah. Did it start immediately when you? I mean, after that, was it that same night or?
Yeah. Up until then, my wife never had these kind of dreams. Remember, she had dreams of a snake going in her body, like in her chest, and moving all around inside of her body and coming out and trying to kill her. And
so you didn't feel anything on the way home, or I mean,
I didn't, man. I really didn't. I had no clue at all, man, that anything was going to happen. So it hid itself really, really well. And I think what happened was, remember I told you I grabbed that rock. I put the rock in my bag that I carry all my equipment in. And there was some little pieces of clay particle left in the bottom of my bag.
It was just enough.
Yep. So I cleaned that booger out. Right, in a hurry. Yes,
that's. I'm not even going to jinx myself. I'm not even going to talk about things following me home. No, not even going to make a comment on it.
Kirsten said you better not.
Go ahead, Blake, and tell the audience.
Do what?
I said, go ahead and tell the audience, man.
Oh, no. Other than that one time we had something come home with us to the apartment, and all we heard was sounds and stuff. I'm not even going to say that. I'm not even going to jinx anything.
Yeah, we had one that came home with us from the cemetery, and it was a wild trip. It really was. We had We had things turned over. We heard just uh,
Mainly noises. A lot of noises.
yeah,
Wow.
noises. It was unreal. And I know now when we go to that particular cemetery, I'll always stand as we start to leave. I'll stand and say a silent prayer, and uh, and pray that nothing does come home with us.
Yeah, that's one
Uh,
thing I do, man. Before I go into a place, and when I get ready to leave a place, I pray in and I pray out.
So that's something I need to start doing. I mean,
Yeah,
well,
that's really
I used to more, but I forget now. I mean,
yeah,
well. We were talking a few minutes ago about dealing with Bigfoot.
yeah.
You kind of know what you're up against with Bigfoot. You
Right.
know what you're there for. You know what you're looking for.
you don't know what you're getting yourself into with paranormal.
You don't,
No,
man.
no.
That's the thing.
I mean, it could be something just like that one following you home. You
Yeah.
didn't even know.
Had no clue, man.
I mean,
It's crazy.
be sitting in your passenger seat all the way home and not even know it. I mean,
Yeah, I know, right?
At least if Sasquatch follows you home, he gets in the car with you. You're gonna
you
have a big
gonna know
hurry.
it.
You're not gonna doubt it at all.
No, 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 no. No,
And you know,
you may be wondering what was in the food you just ate, but I mean,
I won't be wanting everybody to be able to see it. Oh my.
that's something we always joke about. We're waiting for that day because we travel down a lot of dirt roads, like rural roads. Like we always joke about what we're going to do that one day when they just walks out in front. When we have one walk out in front of the car on us. But
Dude.
watch, we joke enough about it. It's probably going to happen one day. I mean,
Yeah, really. And so I got a question, man, and don't take offense by what I'm gonna ask because this to get and remember I have no experience in this. Okay.
oh, you're good.
Has anybody ever caught a clear picture of a Sasquatch?
oh yeah,
Yeah, okay. That's where I hate nowadays. Like I hate modern research when it comes to Bigfoot and evidence and everything because yes, they have been quote unquote clear pictures caught, but so much stuff is hoaxed. Like
Yeah.
that's nowadays you could have a real picture, some of the best visual evidence ever. No matter how good it is, you're gonna always have the people call it fake.
Yeah, because
yeah.
of all
I
the
mean,
other stuff that was fake beforehand.
you take
Hoaxing has ruined
you take
reputation and reputable evidence when it comes to Bigfoot.
Yeah.
you take the Patty film for instance. It was shot in 1967.
What was
I don't
that?
know if you I don't know if you saw the film or not. It's actually about a minute long film. It was shot by Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin in October of 1967 in
No,
Bluff
I've never
Creek.
seen it.
You've never seen the Patty film?
No.
It's the most like it's the you've probably seen it and didn't realize what it
No.
was.
Is that
I'm
the one
sure
where
you
he's
probably.
walking through the woods? Kind of. I
Well,
don't know how all of us walking through the woods. I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind.
Dry Creek. He's actually walking out across a dry creek bed there in Bluff Creek, California. Okay, that is
It
one of
was
the
the
most
sorry, Ricky. It was the first ever Bigfoot film.
Okay. Okay.
and that is one of the most highly scrutinized films in modern history. They have actually broken this film down frame by frame and went through it. They have speeded it up. They have slowed it down. They have
They've
done
analyzed
everything,
this film as many times, every shape, way, or form it could be analyzed.
Wow,
and
man.
and tried to prove this thing being a hoax. And man, there is no
Saw it.
way. They have been countless costume designers from our time today that have said many times that there is no way in 1967 that anyone could have made a costume to look so realistic.
It's a living creature. Like you can look
Yeah.
at
That's it.
this. You can look at this. It was a female. You can look at it and just tell it's real. Like I mean, there's no way that during the time, the location it was filmed at, the circumstances, everything.
I'm gonna ask you.
They would have to have went through so much crap to make this happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a dumb question, Blake. You ready? I can't believe a man my age is fixing to ask this question. How the hell do you know it was a female?
I know breast.
You can see the breast.
Okay, I didn't want to come out and say it. But
You can see the breast.
okay.
Neil, in this film, you can actually see the breast. The thing that really catches
You can see
about
muscle
me is
structure. I mean, you see
muscle
everything.
structure in the legs when she's walking, when she takes a step. You can see the ripple in the muscles. I mean, dude,
Wow.
it is unmistakably a real film that
Yeah.
captured a real Sasquatch
Even if
walking
someone
across
were,
that creek.
even if someone were able to produce a costume back then of that sort, they would not be able to replicate the muscle movement and all that.
No, there's no way.
That's
No way.
wow.
I mean, the length of the arms, like, that's one thing when it comes to costumes people don't realize. You can alter this part. You can make this bigger, but you can't lengthen the arm. Like, I mean,
Right.
the forearm part. I mean,
Right.
it's impossible unless they, was to take some type of device, that you'd held in your hand that would go forward to lengthen the forearm. But other than that, I mean, it's about impossible to lengthen your forearm with a costume.
And so the Sasquatch arm is how much longer than a human arm, you reckon?
A Sasquatch arm, whereas our arms are above the knees, or you can hold your arms straight down
Yeah.
by your side, and your arms. I don't care. I've not seen a man one that their arms is always above the knees. Their hands are. A
Yeah.
Sasquatch, a true Sasquatch, when you see one, and I have saw one, their hands actually come down below the knees.
Wow.
Yeah. Their arms are typically probably about 3/4 of their body. I mean,
Right.
right about.
Wow. And they can climb trees too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing people don't realize. You walk around in the woods, people are always looking down at the ground and eye level and everything like that. Nobody ever looks up.
No.
You could have one in a tree right above you and never walk right past it.
You would have no clue unless it was making a sound.
Yep.
These things are so meticulous about being able to hide themselves in the woods that you could actually be standing beside one and never know it.
Wow.
And that's
So
what people don't
Well,
realize.
and not only the talking about the hiding part. It depends on what you believe and how you look at the phenomenon. I mean, if you look at the paranormal aspects of it, far as cloaking and like, people literally saying that they're there one minute, gone the next, whether if that's just
yeah,
because they're really quiet, really good
I've
at
heard.
hiding, or are they actually paranormal aspects to them?
I've
Are
heard.
they
I've heard the
able
same
to
thing.
disappear? I mean, whatever that disappearing, is, whether if it be cloaking or, something like that, so
Yeah.
I mean, in Indian lore, Neil, they actually believe that these creatures are interdimensional, that they can actually travel from one dimension to another. That's where Blake is. That's what Blake's referring to as the cloaking that they
Right.
do.
Now I've heard that same thing before too. That they
They
can
actually
they can
believe
do
that
that.
these things could actually travel interdimensionally.
I've
And
also heard that they are related to aliens.
well, I've heard that.
Well, okay. DNA wise, we have found DNA we cannot explain. Okay,
Right.
they've been DNA found. Supposedly, they've been DNA found that's related to Johnny Ganopithecus. But at the same time, we don't even really know what Johnny Ganopithecus was.
What is that?
John ape that used
Okay.
to roam the United States pretty much
Okay.
in
Okay.
Northern America.
Well, actually,
But we don't really have
the
no
only
truthful DNA. We don't really know what they were, when they lived. We don't really have no proof of them per se.
the only known proof to man is a one tooth and a small fragment of jawbone that was discovered in China. Uh, uh, what I think back in the early 1900s, late 1800s.
Well,
But
let me
this
ask you
was
this,
actually
man.
discovered.
If that's all they found of it, could that not have been a Bigfoot?
Exactly. That where I was going with that is there are a lot of people who believe the Johnny Ganopithecus theory. There are a lot of people who believe that it's just a an unknown, undiscovered species. No weirdness to it. Just a bipedal undiscovered species. There are people
Right.
who believe that they're a lost tribe, pretty much. But then they are what you were talking about, the aliens. We have found DNA that mother side female DNA, mother side human female DNA, father side undiscovered. We don't know what it was. So,
Wow.
with that being said, that could simply be alien DNA.
Could be.
It could be a hybrid creature that some being from some other galaxy or planet mated with a human female, and then you have Bigfoot. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like, I don't know. You can't discredit any of it until
Right.
there a body found, which we don't condone killing one. So, unless their body ever found by natural causes or whatever, or even if it was killed, whatever. But we're not going to be involved in that. But
Right. Right.
it's all theories.
Yeah. And I've heard this too, Ned. And yeah, you can guess that since I've seen that one, man, I've been looking at a lot of stuff about them. But I've also heard that with the Bigfoot that they have a lot of the human characteristics, as in when one of them dies, they care for that body.
Yep. Yep. They bury their bodies. That's one reason we don't ever find them.
Yeah.
We've actually spoke with somebody that kind of makes a little sense so most people think that since we bury our bodies, we just dig a hole in the ground. Okay.
Right.
Well, what if these creatures are smarter than that? Okay. The guy sent us a picture of a supposable burial site. It was rocks and trees all piled up together.
Hmm.
A human could not move these rocks.
I'm talking
And
about
if the normal person just walked by this, you're not going to think this is a burial site. It's hidden in plain sight, but it's not what you would think of. Like, I seen this picture, I'm like, that.
So it's not like
sense.
it's not like a typical grave the way it looks as far as the shapes and all that stuff.
Yes. They're very creative with their burial process.
Wow.
Neil, you got to understand, man. You take a creature that stands 7 to 8 foot tall, that weighs 1,000 pounds. We were in the cemetery down in Bartow County a few years back. This thing was in a woodline about 50 to 60 yards across the cemetery from us. Mm-hmm. This thing was hurtling rocks the size of a basketball through the treetop where we were standing underneath, and these rocks landing at our feet, not hitting us. This creature did not want to hit us.
It wanted to scare you.
It was not out to harm us, but it wanted us out of the area.
Yeah.
And that is their main mechanism. Is if you're out investigating at night or whatever.
I'm sorry, guys. My phone's. Hang on a second.
You're fine.
That's my phone reminding me to take my medicine like a man. Quit blabbering and take your medicine like a man.
But talking about us getting rocks thrown down there. My boss last year. So the lake is Altoona Lake. He fishes. That's where we had all this stuff happen, and where I had my visual at. He was actually fishing. He was a couple coves over from the cemetery where we had all this stuff happen, and he's just going down the bank parallel with the bank, and all of a sudden he said about probably a 15, 20-pound rock just comes flying out over his boat into the water. He seen it come flying out in front of him and hit the water. And he grabbed his light. He said it was right at dark. Just had got dark. He grabbed his light and shined it up in the woods where it came from. Didn't see nothing. He said it was a bank about like this, about a 45-degree angle. He said it went up for about 100 foot or so, and then it kind of plateaued. So whatever through that and wherever it come from was about 100 foot from the water and up on top of a hill.
Wow. That's some muscles right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my boss called me freaking out because, my boss knows about what I do and everything, and he's been paranormal investigating with me, and he's interested in Bigfoot, but he's kind of like most people that believe that's never had anything happen to him.
Right.
He just sitting there fishing, and all of a sudden, a rock, 15 pounds come flying through the air, a good 20 foot up in the air. Like, he was like, well, maybe it was somebody messing with me. I'm like, dude, you know what it'd take to throw that rock that far? Like, I don't want to see that, man. Like,
dude. Whoa.
And this dude is what you're actually dealing with when you go in the woods looking for these things. You're dealing with a creature that at any moment could turn on you and break you like breaking a twig.
Yeah.
No,
the chances of that happen are very slim.
Has there been any documented cases where a Sasquatch has killed someone?
Yes. I mean, as far as I don't know the legitimacy of the documentation, but yes, they are reports of people being killed. Wow. But they're usually more to the story.
Yeah.
A lot of these times, like you hear of cabins getting attacked and stuff like that. Usually something happened where those humans did something to provoke those creatures. Just like paranormal. You go around poking at the wrong thing, you might get a bad reaction.
Right.
Same thing. I mean, with my 10 years of doing it, I mean, I've never had have I had encounters or situations that I was a little frightened? Yes. But did I ever fear for my life and feel like I was going to die? No.
Right. Man, I really want to get into to doing this also, man, as far as, squatching, I guess is what you call it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm telling you, man, once you get the fever, hey, it's
just like paranormal. It's just like paranormal. I mean,
yeah, man, it's paranormal's in my blood now, man. I can't get it out, dude. So even if I get to squatching and enjoy that, I'm gonna do both.
That's what we do. It's just sometimes hard to pick what you're gonna do.
I know, right?
That's one of the reasons we go to that cemetery a lot, because I mean, you can investigate while you're there, and if if Bigfoot wants to howl across the lake, you may hear him. I mean, it's best of both worlds.
That is something that I would definitely not do by myself.
Look, that's what I was going to say a minute ago. I am very brave. Okay, I do not get scared very easily, but I don't know about doing stuff by myself. Like, I thought about that. I've been thinking about trying to, doing some alone challenges and stuff, but like two people, you just feel safe. But like some of the places I go, like down there at the lake, like I wouldn't be out there by myself at night. Why? Why?
See, that's me, man. When it comes to paranormal, dude, I don't care. I would do it. I would do it all night long, man. But dealing with something like the Sasquatch that is very new to me and I don't know hardly anything at all about. Nope.
All right, Blake, tell him about the incident we had a few months ago when we were down there at the lake camped out. I'll get him started off here, and Blake can kind of describe it to you. But my youngest grandson, Ethan, was with us, and the guy that we used to actually team with out of Tennessee was down there. And Blake and I had told him that we were going to go up into the cemetery and do a little investigation. So we had left camp and went up there, and Blake kind of tell him what happened then, bud.
Me and Ricky walked out to the cemetery, and I can't remember if we'd done some howls around that time. I don't remember if we'd done any howls, but we were about midways in a cemetery, and best way I can describe what this sounded like was a laughing hyena. Like,
Wow.
I don't even know. Like, it was. I don't even really know how to put it into words. It was like a laughter slash dog sound slash kind of like a canine, but I don't know what it was.
Right.
But it
Then
sounded.
supposedly we talked to somebody that said it was a juvenile Bigfoot, but I don't know. I'd never heard anything like that.
And what made it so bad, we were up there in the cemetery, Neil, and this thing cut out with the scream, laughter, whatever. And I had never heard anything like it. I've been doing this for 40 years, and that was the first time I had ever encountered anything like that. And it was right there on top of us. I mean, it wasn't no 40, 50. It sounded like it was right there beside of us when this thing screamed out.
You know what?
I've had a couple of guys tell me that, look, you were in a graveyard. It could have been something paranormal.
You know what, though, man? That kind of reminds me. Remember I said when we were at the graveyard, we heard something sounded like it might have been coyotes?
Right.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a
Oh,
foot.
they definitely mimic coyotes. But if you actually have something to record them and you can analyze the frequencies of their of the actual call, you can tell. I mean, coyotes, if on a where you can analyze and see the actual frequencies and everything, coyotes are all. It's going to be the same frequency across the board. No
Right.
matter where you go, coyotes they're going to have a couple different types of calls, and they're going to show up the same on the analyzation.
Right.
We've gotten recordings that, that's what gets me is audio when it comes to howls, and if you have a way to have somebody analyze it, they can prove right off the bat that it's nothing that can be reproduced by a human or any other type of living creature that we know of, because of the frequencies that of the call or the howl or whatever the audio is.
Hey, do me a favor, man. Check out the video that I posted called The Haunting. That's the one where we were at the graveyard. And while we're actually in the cemetery, you'll be able to hear the coyotes or whatever that was making that sound, because I was bending over to touch one of the little cat balls that I have for my EMF detector stuff. And I stopped midway because I heard that and I was like, oh, shit.
What is that?
And Billy was like, what is that? Is that coyotes? I was like, I don't know, but it's scary. It was cool. Guys, I'm going to have to get off of here, man.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I need to get off here. I got to get ready for tomorrow. I got to get up early in the morning.
I got to take my medicine. Y'all just heard my alarm go off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're fixing to close out another broadcast of Georgia Cryptics. Again, we want to thank Mr. Neil K. Nocturnal Nations.
Yes, sir.
Hard for me to say there, Neil. But we want to thank Neil for his participation in the show tonight. Neil, we hope, buddy, that you'll come back.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man.
And help us moderate this thing. And maybe you want to get a little more about Sasquatch on the way, and we can have another good discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. Blake, did you say anything to Rick about the me interviewing you guys?
Oh, no, not yet. What day?
It's going to be May. Hang on a second, I'll tell you. Let me pull my calendar up. It's going to be May the 7th at 8:30 p.m.
May the 7th?
On Friday. Yeah, it's the first. I do interviews the first Fridays of each month.
Right.
And I won't interview you guys then.
So guys, please go show Neil some love. Hit the subscribe button on his channel. Super awesome guy.
Appreciate
Okay,
it.
Neil,
Man.
you said 8:30.
Yes, sir.
All right, then.
Like I was saying earlier, guys, you will be seeing Neil on here. Hopefully, a lot more.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
man.
Definitely look forward to having you as a co-host on here.
Definitely, man. Hey, dude. I'm telling you, I'm kind of bummed that we didn't have a guest tonight because I wanted to give him some shit.
Dude, unfortunately, dude, we don't have it happen to us much, but it does happen. Like, people are bad about that. I mean, we've had maybe 3 or 4 people do it to us.
It looks like they could at least give you a 24-hour notice, you know?
Well, Ricky just spoke to him yesterday.
Yeah, I'd spoken to him. You know, he assured me that he was going to be on here Wednesday night.
Right.
So
Well, it might have been an emergency situation that just popped up, you know? Could be.
could have been.
Yeah.
I know. I was supposed to have been interviewed by Huntophobia a couple of weeks ago, but I had to cancel out the night before I was supposed to do the interview because I had to take my son into rehab, my oldest son. He's addicted to drugs, and I had to go take him to rehab, man. It was
Have you talked
sad
to
and
him?
happy day at the same time. No, I haven't talked to him yet, man. He hadn't been able to call us yet. So hopefully he'll be able to talk to us in the next 2 days.
Pray and keep fingers crossed that at least put him down the right path. I mean,
That's right,
because unfortunately, good people get addicted.
Yeah, and he's a really good boy, man. I ain't just saying it because he's my son. He's
No,
23. He's 23 years old, man. He's got a good head on his shoulders, but
He just made a bad choice. That's it.
he did. That's all it was, man. And it's all stem, man, because he's dealing with some depression and shit. And instead of going to a doctor, he started taking some of his friends' medicine.
Yeah, you're trying to cover it up.
Yeah, and it caught up to him.
Yep.
Right.
It happens to a lot of good people.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, guys, I'm out of here. I will see y'all when I see you. I'll talk to you guys sometime later on and set up another time we can get together and do this again. I know I can't do it next week. I got mess going on, man. You said a while ago, Blake, I got shit going all the time, man. But I'm definitely.
Yeah, I'm not trying to throw more on to you, but we want to have you on the show to help
oh
us
yeah,
out.
definitely, man. Definitely. Anything I can do to help, man. And look, I know you said, are we still on the air?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope you don't mind me saying this on air then. I know you said something earlier, Blake, about trying to figure out some stuff with your editing. Were you able to get all that figured out yet?
Yeah. Well, I've got the concept down far as editing. The computer that Ricky gave me to do it on, it's not. Yeah, it's password locked. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's still some stuff I need to learn, but I got the general concept of it. I mean,
I hear you, man.
I've been messing around on my phone, and I edited a video on the computer at work the other day. So I mean, I've got got the gist of it. But
right. When I first started doing videos, man, last 2 years ago, I was doing it on my phone, and the quality of it was okay. It wasn't like doing it on a computer. The only drawback I really saw with me doing it on my phone, I had to use a program that had their watermark on it.
Yeah.
I didn't like.
I mean, you can pay for software. You can pay for apps that takes out the watermark. But I mean, I'm wanting to learn. There are a couple YouTubers I really idol when it comes to their editing, and I want to get to that point. Like I want to do cinematic. Like I mean, just very professional videos.
That's what I'm working on now, and I'm trying to work on mine to get them to that point. Far away from them, dude, but I'm working on it.
Well, it's a lot to learn.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean,
yep. Well, guys, for real this time, I really got to go take my medicine, man.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
See y'all later on, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, Mr. Neil K of Nocturnal Nations. Go on YouTube, check Neil out. He's got some great videos. He does some great paranormal investigations. Blake and I are very proud to have Neil coming on to help us out with our channel ourselves. Again, Neil, thanks, buddy. Blake, anything else before I close her out?
As always, guys, if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, like, and comment. Let's continue to grow this channel. We're getting close to 100 subscribers. Let's get there. If you guys don't mind, like I said, just hit the subscribe button. And thank you guys for your support. And that's all, guys.
All right. Thanks, everybody, and good night.